The most widely used drug we are seeing and hearing is marijuana. Marijuana is easier for them to get right now than alcohol. They don't have a problem finding anywhere where they can get a bag of marijuana. Earlier this year, we had a student that we found with marijuana, brought her in with her parents, and I had asked her how much she was smoking. She informed us that she was smoking on a daily basis, and Mom and Dad became very upset over that. In an effort to calm her parents, she stated that I'm only smoking once a day, and that there's kids that are smoking 5 to 6 times a day. The next thing that we also are seeing is dab. Dab is a super high concentration of THC, marijuana. Most of the plant is removed, and you are left with 50 to 80% of the active ingredients. It comes in oil, wax form, it's thick, the kids refer to it as earwax. It comes rolled up in a wax paper so they can pull it off. They use a plumber's torch. They superheat a surface, and then they take the wand or whatever it might be that they're heating and place it in it, and it flashes. That concentrated smoke that they're getting is what they're inhaling. It started to become popular last year, and it's still around right now. Second thing that we're seeing a lot of is alcohol. It's a major concern for us. Since the 31st, we have had 6 juveniles that will be entering our juvenile process for alcohol. On New Year's Eve, we became aware of 3 underage parties that were taking place just in our town alone. I've heard every excuse on why the parents feel it is okay to allow the underage drinking, and that's exactly what it is, excuses. There is no way you're going to be able to control what these kids are consuming. You have no idea what they may have taken prior to coming into your home, and you don't know what they may be taking while they're there. Last weekend, we had several students that we had transported to the hospital for alcohol poisoning. I've spoken to numerous parents this week over those parties. I've had parents and students into my office. And the parents are telling they just don't know what to do anymore with the alcohol use amongst the kids. Everyone knows that there are parents that are allowing the alcohol to be consumed in their home, and everybody talks about those parents, and that's where it ends. Over the last summer, the big thing that they were doing was the day parties, because Mom and Dad are away at work, so now we're going to start having day parties. One student hosted a party in what he called Beer Olympics, which ended at 6 o'clock that evening, that almost ended in a tragedy. Over the last few years, we have seen several lawsuits brought against parents in town from parents whose kids have consumed alcohol in the home and suffered alcohol poisoning. Parents are responsible for what takes place in the home, whether you're home or not. A 2007 case out of Ridgewood is a case I believe every parent should be aware of. The case is called Simon vs. Harding Pharmacy. 17-year-old says at a party at his house when his parent goes away for the weekend. Guest Scott Simon consumes alcohol and Xanax that is brought to the home by another guest who worked at Harding Pharmacy. He passes out. Everybody leaves him there. They check on him every once in a while. It's a good couple hours before they decide to take him over to Valley Hospital. And he suffers brain damage. The case was settled just in 2011 for $4.1 million. The parent is responsible for $1.2 million, the pharmacy for $1.9 million, and the kids who did not call for help and let him lay there were responsible for the remaining $1 million. The attorney made a statement that he is aware his client shares responsibility for taking the drugs, but the settlement should also serve as a warning to parents whose children host parties at their homes. The third, what we're hearing right now, is cocaine. Not a lot of it, but we're told from students that it is in the school and it is around. Every year, that third substance seems to change. In 2010-11, Xanax was very popular in the school. Xanax was like taking an M&M in that school. It was all over the place. 2011, a 17-year-old junior was arrested in the school after being observed in a drug transaction. That student had $1,900 cash in his backpack. He had 17 Xanax bars, 8 Oxycontins on his person. After interviewing him, every week he was delivered from a dealer in the city 400 Xanax bars and 100 Oxycontins from that dealer. He sold the Xanax for $8 and the Oxy for $30. The task force had come in and they did speak with him, and at one point, I don't remember the exact numbers, I was looking for my notes, I think he said he sold about 600 to 700 Xanax in 1 week and 200 to 300 Oxys in a week. That individual was just arrested by the Narcotics Task Force now for selling cocaine. In 2012, our problem became OxyContin. I know of 8 students from that graduating class that spent their summer in a rehabilitation clinic. I have been told by students that that number is even higher, and they have named every one of those students. In 2013, an individual who we felt was most responsible for selling the oxy was arrested again with the narcotics task force. We've been chasing that kid since he's a junior in high school. We have arrested him at least 4 to 5 times, and he just keeps coming back. He's probably going to be getting back out within the next year again. A lot of these kids, when they are taking the oxy, they're not just taking them orally, they're burning it. They crush it down, they put it on tin foil, they start to burn it, and then they inhale the smoke. It gives them a much quicker high. If they're burning it just right, it's a white smoke, tongue's burned. If they overburn it, it will turn their tongue brown. Next is Molly. Molly is ecstasy, mostly in capsule form. Several years ago, a bag of Molly, a crushed Molly, was found in the hallway in the high school and turned over to us. The problem with Molly is mixed with various other substances, and you really don't know where you're getting, which makes it very dangerous. We have a group of students who attend these EDM raves and festivals. This year we had a 13-year-old attend the EZU Festival in New York. EZU was canceled after a few days after 2 kids who had died in just 1 weekend alone. Promoters have said that EDM does not exist without Molly. The majority of the culture is built around letting go and rolling. Rolling is the term that they use when they are on Molly. Last year we had a group of students who called themselves the Roll Squad. And they were very proud to be called the Roll Squad. I did a presentation in front of the students, and when I mentioned this, they all started hooting and hollering and putting their hands in the air that they were proud to be part of this. One of the students, he was nice enough, he put on Facebook that he was the CEO and the founder of the Roll Squad. There was an essay article that was being passed around social media by the students this summer. It was provided to me by one of the students. It's a very good reading. If anybody or any of your kids are going to these festivals, if you want to call, email me, and I'll send it to you. It was written by a promoter in the music industry who felt it was time to speak up after the deaths that is easily. The biggest question I get all the time, heroin. Yes, we do have heroin. Heroin is around. I've been a police officer for 26 years. Prior to September of 2012, I've only arrested 1 person for heroin. Since September 2012, I have personally come in contact with 15 people with heroin or heroin-related incident. 7 of those were between the ages of 15 and 17. Again, last year we learned of 3 students who were using heroin and we were looking for an opportunity to intervene. That came as a motor vehicle stop. Originally, all we were able to get out of the car was a very small marijuana roach. After speaking to the students on the side of the road, had to roll up their sleeves. They all had fresh marks they were injecting. After we talked to them a little bit longer, the 16-year-old girl pulled out 2 needles out of her bra and handed them over to us. They all start off by snorting the heroin, and then they all turn to injecting it because they realize they're getting more bang for their buck. For those 3 kids, when we brought their parents in, their parents had absolutely no idea that those kids were using heroin. Earlier today, I spoke with Mr. Thomas Miller. Thomas Miller's son was the 2011 Northern Valley Ultrapan graduate. Last year, Thomas Miller died when he was 20 years old from a heroin overdose. His anniversary was just a few days ago. Mr. Muller asked that I mention his son's name, hoping it just may help somebody else. Heroin is exploding in New Jersey and New York, as the lieutenant has said. Several times this year, as he also mentioned, the record has published a series of articles on the problem. Because of these growing concerns and the problems in New Jersey, police now in Ocean, Huntington, Camden, and Cape May counties are all now carrying aerosol Narcan in police vehicles. Suffolk County Police Long Island is also carrying Narcan. Narcan counter affects the effects of opiates. And it's pretty amazing when you see somebody get hit with the Narcan. They're out and doing CPR on them, and they hit them with Narcan and they sit right up. A lot of this has a ripple and domino effect in our community. What does an addict do when they have no more money to feed their habit? They steal. There are 3 past graduates who have been arrested within the last year because they have now elevated themselves to committing home burglaries in our area, just to feed their addiction. The state Senator Robert Singer of Ocean County had made a statement last year. If 5 kids died of measles outbreak, we'd have parents attacking the schools. We have had 5 deaths in 1 week and no one is outraged. I'm mind-boggled that we do not see a surge of people asking what we are doing about it.